What is up, guys? It is Will here, back again with another episode of Lights, Camera, Keco, Dean the Dream Collects. Bro, we're here for an exciting one. We had a week off. Everyone got a chance to reset. My lighting may look a little bit different. I had to throw this up last second, guys, because I was like, I don't have any of the lights set up. We still got to do a live stream. You're probably going to see a bunch of Modicades. Let the conspiracy theories formulate. But I will say, I'm still building these Modicases, guys. I'm hoping to have them done this weekend, but it's a process. Let me just tell you. That's putting it lightly. It is a process. And yeah, we got 10 eventually. 5, I think, have been lit and 5 have been set up. A 6th one is being set up, but still going to be exciting. Nonetheless, guys, so much news to get to. We missed a week, like I said, but we got a lot to talk about. And honestly, there's just a lot to talk about from just today and yesterday. And we're going to talk about it nonetheless. Hopefully we'll bring you a good show. This Friday, June 30th, 5:17 p.m. That said, guys, let's introduce this Avengers level panel before we address the chat and get into our first topic because there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to waste any time. Mr. Keco Collects, how are you doing, sir, this fine Friday, June 30th?
Hot as balls.
Dude, it's hot as balls here, too.
It is a heat index right now at 115 here in Nashville. The humidity and dew point is at like 75%. I went ahead, and you know how I care about my grass. I went ahead and cut the grass early this morning around 8:30 or 9. And I was literally in puddles with how hot and humid it was. Now, there's difference in the humid heat and the dry heat. Dry heat, and if you're in Arizona, whatever, Texas, cool, enjoy yourself. But this swamp ass heat in Nashville is unforgiving. It's very, very difficult to breathe. It's also real hazy outside from some of those Canadian wildfires as well.
Here too.
So everything is falling apart at this point. The world is on fire. But you know what? We are on fire tonight, and I'm so excited about all of it. And I've just been, since sun up, been working, doing different things, and just trying to get myself situated. As you can see, we moved the camera around a little bit today, just because I wanted the good mic. This is the good mic that sounds good with the headphones and all that stuff. So if you can hear me out there, everybody, and you like this mic better than the shitty man, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Dude,
whatever these
clip that, it's fine.
Those headset things were in there, so there we go. Good to see you.
Well, we said the Keco, the world is on fire, but the grass is cut, bro. That's all that we care about.
That's all we care about.
Yeah, because dude, when I came to Tennessee, you didn't even have to cut it, Keco, because I think it was cold outside and it wasn't even
correct.
Really
it was like 25.
Yeah, it was really cold out. But yeah, it's still gonna be a fun show. But I see some of the comments here, which we will address, guys. There is some Modicades talk to be had. But Dean the Dream, the sex icon, sex symbol himself, bro. How you doing, man?
Good, man. 100 degrees with 38% humidity down here.
You bastard.
It's pretty nasty. It's funny that you talk about cutting the grass because in Texas, there's only like a few months where grass will actually grow. It's either cooked so it stops growing or it's too cold and it doesn't grow anymore.
It gets that hot, Dean, that it won't grow.
Yeah,
really. I never heard of that. I thought it would grow more.
I water daily. So because I take my yard serious. So even if you watered in Texas, would it still be
I don't know. I definitely don't water daily. But
they don't do that in Texas, bro. They don't do that down there.
Yeah.
But Dean, like, how humid is it there? Like, is it really humid in Texas? I've heard it is.
Yeah, like I said, it's almost 40% humidity today.
Damn.
100% you're swimming. So
so we're like 40% to swimming. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha, bro. Well, I mean, in this room, I'm trying to lower it, but it's 41% in this room right now. And I got a dehumidifier right beneath me. But yeah, bro. I'm trying to lower it. But dude, glad to have you though. Thanks so much for joining in, bro. Always enjoy having Dean. And of course,
I've missed being on with you and Keith.
Dude, same, bro. I missed, dude. Last week, guys, I tried and I know people are going to be super upset with me because the one Prime 1 live stream that I miss is the one that they announced Last of Us. That I was like trying to get them to announce for like a year or two, and I missed the one that I needed to be live for. But it's okay. Building these Modicases is a process, and it's going to be worth it in the end.
I want to be honest, Will. You're not helping your case to get me on board with the Modicases because we're now 2 weeks into this build. I can't hang shower curtains. I can't hang pictures. So if I can't do that, how will I assemble these things?
So I think you can, Keco. I think it's just a matter of, look, I'll tell people, I'm really bad with handiwork. I don't like handiwork. Yeah, and you and I are the same. But I have a friend who's been helping me, but due to his scheduling obligations, he couldn't be here till again this Sunday. So I probably, if he could have gotten here sooner, maybe we could have built them sooner. But I've been taking my time with it. I want them built right. I want them to be well done. And just I've been setting up all the lighting though. I can do the lighting. The lighting's not too bad. So I've been doing all the lighting myself, but I've been doing assembly with his assistants. So that's why. And Brian, by the way, Brian of Modicase is like, I don't think I've met a nicer person on planet Earth than Brian of Modicase. Like, he has answered more questions of mine than any other owner or customer service rep I've ever encountered. Like, the dude is legitimately dedicated, because 2 of my cases actually arrived broken. He sent me out new ones like ASAP. They're already here. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Luckily, the broken ones were the standard ones and not the custom ones. Because if they were broken custom ones, that would have been a lot more challenging. But it was standard 165, so a lot easier. But yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, I love the Modicase. They're great quality. When I get them all set up, guys, I will do a video on that, and I will also do a video of collection tour. People been asking me for a collection tour for like a year or so, but ever since I moved back to Maryland, I've been waiting to get these before I did it, but I'm going to do it probably next weekend is when the collection tour will happen. So I will go live, and Justin already told me he's going to react to it. So it's going to be fun. And then I'm going to react to his reaction. So it's going to be pretty fun. We're going to do it. It's going to be reaction loop. Guys, let's address the chat real quick and get to our topics. I'm so sorry I'm taking so long here. I'm long-winded. Fallen Jedi said, missed you last week. Well, dude, I miss you as well. And I miss talking with the chat. Seriously, I did. Like, I was like, man, I really wanted to do the stream, but I just had to cancel it. Larry Walker said, what's going on? Well, it's been a while. Dude, a whole week, bro. Feels like forever. Let's go. Tragedy Tales, the collection number 1. What's up? I hope everyone's doing great. Hope so. Keith Lee said, good afternoon. Does Will survive the Modicase build? Surviving so far, but remains to be seen whether I survived the whole thing. Juan said, yes. Daryl Carter, Yash. I don't know what that means, but good to have you, Daryl. Wow, actually caught the show live. Well, good to see you, Vikings Collectibles. Dinesh, thank you so much for joining, bro. Love Dinesh. Mike's Fig is here. Mike Fig 08. Yo, what is up? Evil Sneaker. G17 Collectibles. Here we go. Friday night, leading into the night, bro. Sergeant Sal said, what arrives first, a baby or your Modern Space order? Probably a baby. Mine took about a year to arrive. So if you get someone pregnant, you will probably have a child before you have your Modern cases. So that's what I would prepare on. Don't get anyone pregnant, though. Use protection. Thalia Meyer said, hello, everyone. Good to see you, Thalia. Flash Messi 10, first time catching this live. Dude, thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for joining. Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. Yeah, we will discuss. Tony R said, yo, best stream to watch. Dude, thank you so much, bro. Thanks so much for the kind words. I'm Ricky Freaky. That's a good username. It gave me a little bit of a tongue twister there. Good time to he said, first time here. Well, it's good to see you, bro. Good to have you. Keco said, or Will C rather said, fellow Will, Keco, and Dean, good to see you, bro. Shiny said, I can't wait to see Keco angrily defend the new Supergirl. Oh, dude, I don't know what Keco and I have not talked about this really. So yeah, and by the way, Keco, your mic is better. It's confirmed by the chat. So Natalie said, it's been a fortnight. Almost forgot what you fellas look like. Thank you so much, Natalie. We appreciate you. Yes, we will never let you forget. We'll always be around. Gina B collecting Canadian wildfires. Gina, I don't want to pin it all on you. But it's a little bit on the Canadians on this one. What is up? What is up, Gabriel? Jose Hernandez. When you get an official Magic Space tour? Yeah, I'm thinking next weekend. I got a Last of Us print that I'm getting framed that is going to be done next weekend. So I kind of want to get that hung and then do the tour, because trust me, it's going to be pretty amazing. I'm posting updates on my Insta if anyone wants to check that out. Okay, so there's some other comments. Matthew said, Will, could I see that Seth Ross? Dude, he's actually, all my collectibles are spread throughout the house right now because I'm trying to get the Magic cases built. But when the Magic case tour, collection tour is up, you will see him for sure, bro, for sure. Okay, guys, let's get into our first topic. Let's not bury the lead, because really all the news right now, there's a ton of it to start, but really it's all about this. Hot Toys Supergirl is not so super. And this actually was super interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen this happen before, but this actually was so interesting that IGN covered it. IGN covered a Hot Toys figure because of how bad it is. The internet is upset. The internet doesn't think Hot Toys' new Supergirl figure looks anything like, I'm not sure. How do you pronounce her last name? Is it Sasha Calle? Sasha Cal? Do you guys know? I'm not sure. It doesn't look like the actress.
Calais, I think.
Is it Calais? Sasha Calais? I don't know. But when I look at the photos, I'm not overly thrilled with how this came out, right? But let's take a little bit more of a deep dive into it. I know this figure retailed for $265 on Sideshow. Like I said, if you get it on Comic Concepts, which is where I get my Hot Toys, you can get it a little bit cheaper because they don't charge tax, and they also reduce the price a little bit. The base is cool. The outfit is cool. But all the discussion is on this right here. So, guys, we're going to post a poll and see whether you like this or not. But Keco, I want to start with you. You're the absolute wild card of the three. I mean, we're all pretty much wild cards here, but we got to talk about the Supergirl. We've seen some, I guess you could say, vehement defenders, and we've also seen some vehement opposition to this figure. Mostly, I think opposition. I think a lot of people, there's been a lot of Tom Holland dancing memes out there, a lot of Robert Pattinson. The Tom Holland one, it made me laugh more than it should have. I'm going to be honest, but there's a lot of opposition, Keco. But fill us in on your thoughts. What do you think about this Supergirl here from Hot Toys?
Well, as you know, I think that they nailed this. I think it's fantastic. And as you know, I'm the Hot Toys fanboy that just gushes and jerks off all to these Hot Toys
Wow.
releases. Because that's what people accuse me of.
What a start to the show.
That's what people accuse me of on these things. They're like, I can't believe D-Bag, Keco on here. He's just sitting there just sucking on a big one from Hot Toys. I wonder,
on a big one.
I mean, people think that I'm just sitting there like just bending them over, or they're bending me over. I don't know.
I mean, you can pitch or catch. It's fine.
Yeah, it don't matter. But I say in all my comments, and correct. Yeah, in all my comments and reactions to everyone else's comments, I say I am an equal opportunity shit talker. If you put shit out, I will call it. I don't care if you're InArt, who I've given a lot of crap over the past 6 months because of the way they did the batches, the hair on my Joker, and all that stuff. Not happy with them, and I've told them that. Or told everyone here that. So now it's Hot Toys' turn for me to jump off their dick and say that, you know what? This is not good. And I know over the past couple of weeks, we've had a lot of different things. I think we didn't even get a chance to talk about the reworking of the 2099 Spider-Man, but they're going to have to do something with this, because I'm upset that they already stole the memes saying, wow, the No Way Home Spider-Man looking awesome, because this is a very interesting sculpt. It is not the girl, Sasha Cal, if that's how you pronounce it. Once again, I don't know. I'm sorry. But there's so many things wrong with this. This is going to be like the most rushed figure for preview I've seen. I mean, if you go through these things, there is not a single angle that looks good. If you go back to that IGN post, you can see how the head is lifted off the neck. Even it doesn't even fit flush on the back of the neck. Terrible ball joints there, and there's no sheen, there's no shimmer on the costume. It's bland. And then if you look at some of the cape, that looks like a felt cape. Now we're just waiting to talk about Moon Knight, because I think that's one of the topics as well. Possibly the best cape we've ever gotten on a figure is that Moon Knight figure, and the one they put on this literally looked like they went to a Michael's or a craft store, grabbed some felt and threw it on the back of this thing. It's a miss. And I don't think the eye rolling system helps at all. It's the hair is sculpted nicely. If you want, I mean, look at that. Go back to that one.
The cape.
Look at that. Look at that one with the cape. That looks terrible. That looks terrible. There's no texture. There is no it literally looks like felt from Hobby Lobby. It's bad. The proportions are nice, as they talk about in, I guess, the preview, hey, newly redefined body, blah, 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 blah. And I told you a couple of weeks ago that, yes, this was going to come. And here it is. That's not what everyone was expecting. Was I going to get this in the first place? No, I wasn't. But there's a lot of people that were really wanting a good representation of Supergirl, and that is not it right here. My favorite one, because everyone has seen, I think, the memes or the gifs or whatever of her yelling, "What did you do?" to Zod. And it's basically that reaction to this, to Hot Toys. They're saying, Hot Toys, what did you do? Because that's what I'd like to know. I almost expect that within 24 hours, you will have some type of public statement saying we're retooling this. We've heard the feedback, because it took them 3 weeks for the 2099 to get adjusted, maybe a little longer than that. But this one's so bad. If you get called out by IGN, and I'm not going to steal much more of Dean's thunder, if you get called out by IGN, you fucked up, because that is a major publication that have a lot of eyes on it. Because now naturally, people are going to look at, okay, let me go and see what Hot Toys is all about. They're going to drive people to that website. Yeah, they might get some more people and say, this doesn't look like their standard, their quality. And they do have a track record. Let me jump back on that dick for a second, start riding again. But they do have a good track record of some good things that have come out. There have been some fantastic sculpts, even recently. So I just think this is a miss. And maybe it's just because they were working so long on those 6 Batman suits for the Armory. Maybe that's what it was. But maybe. I don't know, man. This one's bad. So,
bro, Keco and Dean, it looks like, honestly, bro, it looks like someone just forgot to paint it. Like it legitimately looks. Look, I'm gonna be honest. If you
Where
look
is the eye makeup? And like it looks
Yeah.
like the brow is way too
she
like
looks
defined. She's
inhuman. Like
cavemanish.
if
Yeah.
you look, it's kind of uncanny valley. Like if you look at the right hand photo, you can see that the likeness is almost not that bad. It's the paint. The paint is fucking horrible. Like it just looks honestly like bad third party. And before I let Dean jump in,
Star Ace has entered the chat.
yeah, this honestly, and that's kind of what I feel like this is. The reason I find this interesting is there are a couple reasons, right? Because you also look at Hot Toys clearly was banking on this movie being more financially successful than it ended up being, right? Because if you look at the Suicide Squad, they made one figure, and that was King Shark, right? And that was a fucking power pose, right? But if we're talking about a film that doesn't doesn't perform well, this film is bombing hard. It had the biggest drop off of all time for DCEU, a 72% drop off in the second weekend. And then it's not even going to make even 300 million probably. Black Adam almost made 400 million. This is going to do way worse than Black Adam. So Hot Toys is making this figure, and they know now that the film did not do well at all. So this is kind of a risk for them, but they don't want that stain on their resume, so to speak, where even IGN and people are covering how bad this is. Hot Toys has to update it now. They have to, regardless of how popular the film is. But clearly they rushed this out. There's no doubt about it. They rushed it in every sense. And they're just like, well, we'll fix it later. Just get it out there and want to get people out there. And, let me just tell you, bro, part of the reason too, maybe the reason this is on Twitter and everything like that, for the collectors who do buy these figures solely because they find them sexy, right? The character sexy. You don't fuck with the head sculpts. If you don't get the head sculpts right, you're going to piss those type of collectors off. And that's what happened here. Not obviously, of course, I'm not painting everyone with that brush, but for the crowd that do buy, and look, more power to you if that's what you want to do. But you're going to piss those people off if you fuck up the head sculpt this badly.
Imagine being Sasha, waking up to this on your Instagram. You'd be like, damn, they did me dirty. They did.
They did. And I mean, honestly, look, I mean, I didn't love the film. I think that's pretty well established. But at the end of the day, I thought she was good. I liked her. Like, I thought she was good. She wasn't the problem. But Dean, I'm sorry to steal all your thunder, bro. Jump in, please.
No, I think you're actually going to be kind of surprised. I don't hate this as much as some people do. I don't think it's fantastic, especially in a world where you have sculpts like Reva from the Obi-Wan show, probably one of the best prototypes we've ever seen. And that figure has yet to come out, so we'll see if the head sculpt really comes out that good. But in terms of prototypes, I mean, they really knocked it out of the park with Reva. A lot of the Tony Stark head sculpts that we've gotten before have been fantastic, save for, I think the first Mark 85 was pretty bad. They had to send out replacements. But again, the prototype for that one was really good. So in terms of prototypes, this is very soft. It's like maybe like 60% of the way there. I think like you said, Will, like the paint isn't the best. The hair looks a little cheesy. The cape looks awful. It looks so weird in that photo. But yeah, just a little retooling, and I think they'll be there for this figure. I don't think it's as bad as some people are making it out to be. But I definitely see everyone's complaints. I think Keco made some good points. It's just right there on the cusp of being like, okay, I see. Yeah, okay. It's just, to me, it's all very soft. And maybe
it's definitely from the
nose
up. From the nose up is where it needs to be fixed. I think
I think it's the paint or the lighting. I don't know what it is about it particularly, or it's just missing the mark for me. But this is a character that a lot of people have been excited about for a while. To finally get it into a movie, and then to now finally be getting it into a figure. A lot of people are excited, and I feel like this is letting all those people down. But I think Will's 100% right. I think they don't have any other choice but to fix this. So hopefully we see that soon.
Yeah, dude. They have to, because I just feel like if they already put this out there, if the only way that these things get changed is if there's enough complaining and backlash where they have to change it. Right?
Respectfully, everybody.
Yeah, respectfully. But it's true, Dean, absolutely respectful, but you have to make your voice heard. And dude, Cyborg would never have been made if not for people saying, where's Cyborg? Where's Cyborg? Whatever. Would they have reissued the Mark 46? Maybe, but it sure didn't help that guy and everyone else was posting it on every single post, right? He was like, reissue Mark 46, and it showed up on every single one. And the Hot Toys was probably like, this fucking guy. Like, and they reissued it, right? So, look, you want to be respectful, but at the end of the day, it is a language that they listen to. And if IGN and the internet are covering this, then it's not good. If IGN was tracking this on social and Twitter and Facebook and whatever, and it was this loud of a complaint, that it shows that's not good. It also shows people care about the character, which is also interesting. So, people care enough for IGN to cover it. But yeah. So anyway, guys, let us know in the comments below whether you're picking up the Supergirl figure. I think it's pretty rough in its current state, but that said, I mean, I guess we'll see how that shakes out. So I definitely want to see how that's going to go. That said, I want to talk about some other releases, guys. Trust me, we have a lot of news to get to, and we shall. Actually, I think we had a super chat, actually. Let me get to that before we get to the next topic. And I think it was from Carlos. Carlos said, this is a man, LOL. I think he was talking about the Supergirl, but I did see some people say that. I did see some people comparing it to the Tom Holland dancing meme where he performed Umbrella very well, actually. And then, of course, there's like Robert Pattinson memes and even Tom Holland. A lot of people have said she looks like XYZ. So, yeah. Thank you, by the way, Carlos. But I appreciate that, bro. But I do hope that they update the head sculpt for collectors there. That said, there's something else that I want to talk about. There's Back to the Future figures that have been released. And I want to kind of address these real quick. Sideshow did a sort of first look that they do for these figures. And you can see, yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? All right, hold on. I got the Athena one rolling. I got to pause that one.
Why the hell do you have the Athena one playing?
What'd you say, Keco?
Why in the world would you be watching the Athena one?
Dude, because that's coming up next, bro. We got to talk about that. And that's honestly, your thoughts are kind of what I expected. But nonetheless, dude, this Sideshow video shows it pretty effectively, right? And we can see here, they got the Marty, they got the Doc, and these are the Cowboy Back to the Future versions. I have not seen Back to the Future 3. Keco has only shown me Back to the Future 2. So I've seen Back to the Future 1 now, and I saw 2 with Keco. We got I think we had 20 minutes left, and I still have not finished it, actually. So I need to sit down.
You said you were going to.
I said I was going to, and I did not. So I will, though. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was good. I wouldn't buy figures from it, but I guess we're going to see if the chat agrees. Keco, I looked up cowboy terminology, and I found an interesting term here. Ace high. Dean, you live in Texas. You've ever heard that before?
I've heard it before. I don't exactly know what it means.
Okay.
I think it's a card playing term.
It is
that you have, yeah. When you're in the saloon, essentially.
Yeah, it means like good quality or a good hand. So
the ace is the highest card you can have. So.
Right. So apparently it's a good thing. Right. It's a good thing. So I thought with the Cowboys, let's say ace high. Are these figures ace high? Keco, I'll start with you, bro. Are these Cowboys from Back to the Future 3? Are they ace high? What do you think, bro?
No. No.
They're ace low.
Here's the thing, is that the Back to the Future trilogy is some of the funnest, most unique storytelling that's out there. And I've told you Back to the Future 1 and 2 are absolute works of art. I made you watch Back to the Future 2, and you were enjoying it for the last, except for the last like 15. I got a flight early in the morning. I'll finish it. I'm like, all right, man. Yeah, I was like, all right, man. And so if you ever get to see the ending of what happens at the end of Back to the Future 2, this sets up, spoiler alert, Will, to where Doc, when he's in the DeLorean, gets struck by lightning and he gets sent back to 1855. Essentially this. And so now Marty has to go back in time again to ultimately get back to the future to wrap up the story. So let's talk about the figures. There's some of the most plain Jane. That's it. That's all I can say is that I do not, when I think of Back to the Future, you think of the DeLorean, obviously. You think about the bubble jacket that Marty wears, and you think about Doc being crazy. You don't want some like Village People looking cowboys. I understand that is the theme from Back to the Future 3, but it is the weaker of the 3. This is literally, you can just put this with your Red Dead Redemption figures, your, I don't know, Westworld, if you want to do it. Here's the thing, is that I do wish that this would have been one of the head sculpts that was retooled for the dock, because it's the same one that is from the Back to the Future 2 version that they released. So you have two figures with the exact same head sculpt. I would have loved to have a version of this on the original like white suited dock. With that being said, I hate it because the hats are on and you can't remove them. That's a huge miss, because if you want to kit bash, do anything, you're stuck. Can't do anything. And they also have like they're very dark toned, and I don't know, man. They're not for me. Someone messaged me and they're like, "Hey, you getting these or whatever?" I was like, unless they are an incredibly great steal for the pair, no, because I have the DeLorean and all four of the other ones, and those are the looks that mean the most to me. I do not care about them in the in this outfit at all. You know, where he is, you know, Clint Eastwood and all that, and fun film, but I don't need figures from it by any means.
Yeah, they do look kind of dark, like they've been tanning or something. Do they?
I know. I understand it's the West, sure, but man, the dock looks super dark.
He does. Dean.
Yeah, it looks almost gray.
Yeah, doesn't it? What do you think, Dean? These figures ace high, or what are you thinking?
I think the original Back to the Future figures, and how old are those now?
20 old.
2012, 2011 are some of the best Hot Toys has ever done. I mean, even to this day. And they've reissued those recently. And I think we got a new dock, right? And they basically used the exact same sculpts as before. Maybe some like super minor tooling. In fact, I don't think Doc got any because they still had the holes.
The only new sculpt, or the only sculpt that's different from all of them, is the Back to the Future 2 Marty, where he's got the hat on and he's got that like looking to the side look or whatever. That's the only.
And those figures, again, still hold up pretty well. Again, some of the best Hot Toys has ever done. These are so boring. The Doc has like a Pharrell Williams hat on for some reason. His hair is like just way poofy. I think out of the pair, I think the Marty looks the best, but their clothes are they're very clean and very kind of boring and plain looking.
Who cares about the range of motion on Doc like that?
Well, he's dynamic, bro. Got to get him
like,
dynamic.
It's not that they don't look good, but for how good the originals ones were over a decade ago to these, like there's like no jump in like insane quality that you're like, wow, they've really improved. And if you look at some figures from 10 years ago and like newer versions of those figures, you can honestly be like, wow, they've come a long way. These don't feel like that, which seems like a bad thing. Yeah, they're just kind of, I mean, not the strongest film either of the three. I could see why Keco is like, look, if I'm not getting a good deal, like I don't feel the need to add them. I think the Marty is fine. It's kind of inoffensive. I think the Doc is just so bad. And like Keco said, can't remove the hats, so you're really stuck with what you could do. I guess if you had the other figures, you could, pop and swap, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, they just kind of miss a mark for me that really kind of wows me. Like I feel like they should. Like I said, especially since the original ones came out so long ago.
Dean,
Marty's face is my reaction to.
What'd you say, Keco?
Marty's face is my reaction to seeing these figures.
Yeah, well, dude, you know what I was just thinking, guys, is this. You know how they've been doing these exclusives recently? I almost feel like this set should have been one of those, because I don't even know if this is wide release worthy, in my opinion. Like maybe if there's something overseas that we're not seeing here with the market in terms of what the demand is for these two. But if you were a Back to the Future collector, unless you're super diehard and need every Doc and Marty, these two would not even be in consideration. You would get the other ones because those are more iconic. These are sort of off kilt. It's like Wenwu in suit, right? Most people are going to get the Wenwu in the combat, the blue suit, but not the tux suit, or the tailored suit rather, right? But that's why they make it exclusive and limited for the people who do want that. It almost feels like this maybe, because I can only imagine, I would think Sideshow is going to be sitting on these for a while. I mean, like they're, nobody's going to be lining up to buy this, I don't think.
Yeah, I haven't seen a single person, and all the live streams I've been in or watched, I haven't seen anybody that's like, I can't wait to get these.
I mean,
everyone's
could
just
this
kind of
be
like,
could this be Stanley Barber bad? I mean,
It very well could be. Yeah.
I mean, could it get that bad for these two?
dude, there's still a comic book store that has those at retail. So I don't know
What, the
about
barbershop, Stanley?
yeah.
Oh my God. Sideshow was
Um,
giving that away recently.
Yeah, they tried to. We were looking for a giveaway for our channel, and they were like, "Hey, we have the barber," and we were like, "No,
Right.
we're good."
Right. Well, Xander said I
Um,
think they're waitlisted on Sideshow. Maybe it was a small batch that I don't know. Yeah,
yeah, but Sideshow does that shit all the time to get people to fucking pre-order their shit.
they
I
do.
don't know. I'm still waiting on those clone troopers to come back in stock.
Yeah, maybe those are for real.
Waiting for Crosshair to come back in stock, even though I got mine. But
Yeah, maybe those are for real. Anyway, guys, Doc and Marty are out there, and yeah, if you want to pick them up, go for it. For me, easy pass. I've not even seen the film yet. I'm with you guys. Doc does look pretty tan. I'm not sure what's going on there. He's been in the desert sun apparently. So, guys, let's talk about something else that my computer was trying to bring up earlier. We're going to talk about Eternal Sthena here. We're going to talk about Destined for Eternity in the bargain bin because look, Gilgamesh actually hit waitlist pretty quickly because I don't think, as amazing as that head sculpt was, no one really cared because it's Eternals and it's most people's least favorite Marvel film. Some people love it. I get that. A lot of people did not love it. And we do have Angelina Jolie here. And I wanted to ask the question, though. I saw a lot of comments on Facebook with the blogger photos of a lot of very upset collectors. People were very much not thrilled with how this head sculpt came out. And then I looked at the Sideshow video and I was like, definitely a downgrade in the head sculpt. If we're looking at it, you see a little bit of loss of detail there and a little bit of a softer feel to it, but a little softer look to it. But I would say overall, I don't know. Does anyone really care? Keco, I got to ask you. I mean, do you care about this Sthena here? Because I just don't seem to sense a lot of collectors really being on board with the Eternals line, especially this far in advance. What do you think?
I'm just sad that we've started the show with 3 straight L figures. 3 straight L's.
We're on a roll, bro.
This is the most depressing stream I've been on in a minute, and we've been off for 2 weeks.
I know, bro. Look, I've been playing Last of Us 2. Like, I'm just depressed. So
I feel you, man. But I don't even know where to begin with this other than apathy, I think, is probably where everyone is. Let's just look objectively at the figure real quick. It's not like they didn't have the likeness to Angelina because they did Maleficent, which is an incredible figure and an incredible likeness. One of the better female pieces they ever did out there with the Maleficent figure from the Cinderella stories. With this, though, I agree. The Sideshow version or Sideshow first look, what do you want to call this thing, looks better than the blogger photos, but it's still not great. But at the same, I mean, she almost looks like Lord of the Rings girl a little bit here in that picture. Galadriel a little bit.
How dare you?
I'm saying a little bit, but I'm just saying visually it's not the shelf's present stealer by any means. Now, the other part that works against this is that they're not making the whole team. Even if you loved Eternals and that was your favorite Marvel movie and you're like a stan for I stand the Eternals. Were you really ever thinking you're going to get all of these? What were there, like 9 or 10 Eternal people? It's a shame because I wanted, because that was the first movie after Endgame, wasn't it? Essentially. And I was ready to kind of get hype back for Marvel, and it really kind of soured everybody saying, is this what we have to look forward to now that, you know, the MCU phase 4 is over? I could care less. I didn't even inquire as to what, you know, this was going for, whether I wanted it, because I knew I wasn't going to. And then the Gilgamesh or whatever, I think is going to be just another just sad companion piece. But damn, there's nothing to get excited about on this. Like I said, 3 straight L figures here. I don't even got much to say, man.
Well, Dean, what do you think, bro? Bring some light to the conversation. If you can.
Yeah, it always bugs me when they don't do a full team, which is why I didn't order any of the Bad Batch figures, and then they finally announced them all. And I was like, "Fuck!"
Told you.
Keco loves Bad Batch, bro.
Oh, so do I. I think it's fantastic.
Okay, so I gotta watch it.
But at least Gilgamesh and Athena go together, right? They're kind of a pair in the movie. So if you like the Eternals and you wanted that representation on your shelf, I think those two do go well together. But like you said, with even as good as the Gilgamesh one was, it's now tainted by this. It's just so blech. It's like they they came up with the prototype and then they were like, do people really even give a shit? And they were like, well, we're obligated to make it, so let's just fucking make it, I guess. And this is what we got. It's very clearly.
But how did this get more effort into it than the Supergirl? Going back to that.
Well, the Supergirl's just a prototype they wanted to get out quick. This is an actual release. I'll give the Supergirl credit that they just wanted to get it out there and get some pre-orders going. But this is an actual release, and this is it's just not. It's not it. I mean, again, in a world where we have figures like the Mark 46, any of the Iron Man figures, Anakin, Obi-Wan, any of their Vaders are pretty fucking good. I think one of the most underrated Hot Toys figures of all time is Jyn Erso. Like this figure it's just like missing all the marks. I think the accessories are like the best part. I think they look cool. I think they kind of like fit with how the movie made them look. I think they look fantastic. But I mean, Angelina Jolie is one of the most beautiful women on the planet. I think Keco again made a good point. The Maleficent sculpt, one of the best. That figure, in fact, I think is like a $600 or $700 figure. I mean, it's people really love that figure if you can get your hands on it. It's just this ain't it. Whatever this is, this ain't it. Yeah.
But that's my point, because it's funny, Dean, because when I originally interviewed Mark, the owner of Alter Ego Comics, he told me, he said the lasting record on the website for lowest pre-orders were Riva and Anything Eternals. He was like, those were the two that by far have been the lowest pre-os we've ever had. Yeah. So not saying look, if you love the film, that's great. I love the Star Wars sequels. I know Dean's going to hate that, but I love them, and I really enjoy them, and a lot of people don't, right? So that's fine. To each
and you only have like 2 figures from those fucking movies.
Dude, I got they're in the kitchen, but I got 4. I got 4.
Oh, okay.
4 or 5.
I thought you only had Ray and Kylo.
Bro. Well, I have 2 Kylos, 2 Rays, BB-8. That might be it. So I guess 5.
Don't you have a Praetorian, or you don't have that anymore?
Oh, yeah, I have Praetorians. I have 2 Praetorians, so 7. Yeah.
See, it's fucking forgettable. You don't even remember.
Dude, now
they were in the Mandalorian, Dean. They slayed in the Mandalorian.
Well, they did slay, and they got slayed too, but yeah.
Yeah, and they're also not technically the same.
Yeah, they're a little bit different. But guys, let us know in the comments below what you're thinking about these Eternals figures. Like Dina, look, to those who want it, happy for you. I just think it's one of those. I think there was a clear downgrade here, maybe 15% in the head sculpt. It kind of looks like honestly, I'm going to put it lightly, a half-ass Hot Toys effort. That's what it looks like. Like you said, Dean, they just didn't care. They were just like, does anyone really care about this? And that's kind of what you got, basically.
Yeah. Anybody who wants this, don't worry, you'll be able to get it.
Yeah.
It's like that project you turn in for work and hope they don't really notice anything and that it doesn't get proofed, and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to get this in. No one's really watching it.
Yeah.
Right.
And luckily, they don't care enough to really give a shit that you half-assed it. They're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. See, you're not going to get the Supergirl backlash on this one because it's Eternals. People will be like, okay, anyway, I didn't care anyway. So that's pretty much, unfortunately, look, I'm not trying to be toxic. That's just what it is. Like, it's just the reality of the situation. So,
yeah, because she wasn't even the best part of that movie, and that movie is not even that great. So it's not like it was like I don't even remember the characters' names, but the guy from Game of Thrones, or I guess his lover in the movie, the Asian woman.
Yeah, I liked the beautiful, the fast girl too. She was really good. She was good.
Yeah, it's like if you had done those 2 figures and fucked them up, I would be a little bit more like, hey, wait a minute. But it's like Gilgamesh and Athena are like super side characters. It's like, all right, guys.
Right. Well, guys, thanks for your thoughts on that one. I think we're going to do a W figure now for Keco. Let's see. Hot Toys, Indiana Jones. Keco, are we taking 4 L's here? We're going to see. I think the people might disagree with you, Keco. This is where, dude, if you call this bad, Keco, you're not going to be the Hot Toys dick rider anymore. So I think that title, that name, that label is going to be gone from you. So we got to talk about this. My question really being, are collectors desperate for Harrison Ford figures? Because it's been some time since we've gotten a good Harrison Ford figure or Harrison Ford figure at all. I actually heard, I think someone was telling me that this is actually the head sculpt from The Force Awakens sort of retooled, and they put a hat on him. And it does look kind of similar when you look at it. I've not gone to see this Indiana Jones film yet. I know the reviews from the critics were good, and then the audience score is like really good. I've heard the audiences are loving it, so far at least in the one day that it's been out. But we're going to see how this shakes out. But this one's not even up for PO yet. I've not seen it on any U.S. retailers' websites like Sideshow or anyone who's affiliated with them. So I've not seen it. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the licensing thing. I can only assume it's going to pop up eventually. You're eventually going to have Indiana Jones show up for you. But that said, Keco, are we desperate enough to buy a Harrison Ford figure of Indiana Jones, even though this may not be the Indy that collectors want? I mean, it could be, but I would assume most people probably want the younger version. Probably not going to get that one, though. Do we settle for this one? What do you think?
And that's the point that we're making, is that are you desperate for a weak representation of your iconic character? I don't even know where to begin with this one. Is that I understand that the new movie is out, okay? And regardless of what you think about the film, the position that, you know, whether you like it, you hate it, think it's ridiculous, whatever, doesn't matter. No one wants to see a geriatric Indiana Jones on their shelf. You want to see The Last Crusade, The Temple of Doom, The Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Harrison Ford Indy that was badass. I'll even give you, for the attempt that Crystal Skull was, at least it still felt like Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. From what I've heard, this is essentially Luke Skywalker in a fedora. Old man Luke Skywalker in a fedora. He's sad, he's depressed, and, you know, he doesn't want to continue on with life. Where have you heard that before? Spoiler, everybody, I guess. But
Well,
I don't know.
Lucasfilm.
It's Lucasfilm at this point. That's kind of like the mindset that you have. So I haven't gone to see it yet. I've just seen what people have been saying. That's it. And I don't think that's a spoiler to know that he's sad and depressed. Okay, great. How does that work? I don't want this. And I don't want the dynamic DX base or whatever that says Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on there. I don't want to be reminded of a film that potentially I don't like. That's like, is it a good piece of art? Yes, I'll give you that. I love genuine leather. I love that the fact that they really are trying to push it. But once again, why is the hat sculpted? Why can you not take it off? That's a problem for me. I want it to be better than that. And I think that this is just people, if you're really wanting this, that you're settling. Because by the time by the time this goes up for pre-order or whatever it may be, you could potentially go and get the original. I think it's the DX05, I think, is the original Indiana Jones DX release. Is it the best of all time? No. There's a Present Toys version out that is really good if you want the real Indiana Jones. And to me, this is nursing home Jones. I don't want this one. I don't want to feel that my hero is a bum and just on his last legs and such. No pun intended. Once again, this is another topic, another L. Visually, great. Emotionally attached to this, hell no.
Okay.
May I say last thing, which is why I was adamant saying, you know what? I don't want the old Ghostbusters from Afterlife with all their wrinkles and feeling sad and all that stuff. I want the OG ones to where I'm like, this is what I remember from 1984. That's what I want. So to me, if the film kicks ass and Harrison Ford kicks ass, we will revisit it. But
yeah,
sneaky suspicion, he probably doesn't.
You know what, Keco? I'm gonna put myself out there for getting roasted here. I didn't really like Indiana Jones. Like, I watched the first film and I didn't finish it. I didn't really like it. And this is something too. I know people were upset with me when I said this too. I didn't really like the first Rocky film. I watched it and it was okay. I thought it was all right, but I had watched all the Creed films first, and then I went back and tried to watch Rocky. Justin was like, "Dude, watch Rocky, because he loves Rocky," and I was like, "All right, I'll watch it." I just wasn't really crazy about it. I just felt, I don't know, I didn't really love it. I wasn't that into it. And same with Indiana Jones. Man. Yeah, it just wasn't.
Do you even like the original trilogy of Star Wars? Fuck.
Yeah, of course, dude. Of course I do. Of course. I think Empire is the best one, but yeah, I think Empire. I think Empire is amazing. I think the other two were like pretty good. I like the other two, but
did he just say the original Star Wars were pretty good? Did I just hear that right?
Good. Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, Empire though. Now that's chef's kiss right
Yeah,
there.
I'm with Keco. I'm with
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just running the stream solo now.
Keco.
Dean, bro, what do you think, man? What do you think about this old Harrison Ford indie?
Objectively, it's pretty fucking good. Real leather jacket looks fantastic. The clothes look cool. The tailoring is great. The accessories are cool. And real leather shoes
and leather whip, bro. You could
and
use
leather
that thing.
whip. I
Yeah,
mean,
you could
come
use
on.
that.
That's you love to see it. And this is kind of the innovation that I've kind of been expecting, especially with InArt on their tail, you know. It's like, step up your shit. And this is definitely clearly a step in the right direction. I think it looks like Harrison Ford. I think it is. I've been going back and forth between the episode 7 Han Solo and this. I think it is basically the exact same head sculpt. Just with obviously hat and hair. Harrison Ford famously hates Star Wars. The fact that he was in the sequel trilogy is actually kind of fucking crazy. But he fucking hates Star Wars and he hates Han Solo. So I think that's why we haven't gotten the new Han Solo figure. So when people saw this and they got excited, like, oh, maybe we'll get a new Han Solo if he's
you're dreaming on that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. He actually loves Indiana Jones. Like,
he cried at Celebration talking about Indiana Jones when John Williams came out to play it. He's like, that theme follows me everywhere. He loves Indy. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, he absolutely.
Why does he hate Star Wars so much?
I think I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, he was already pretty famous when those movies came out. He was already pretty famous.
Yeah.
So I just think it was kind of like a side gig that he did, and then it turned into like this whole phenomenon. And I think he just kind of resented it. I don't know. He just doesn't like it. I mean, you could watch any interview with him. It has to do with Star Wars, and he's like legitimately angry.
Yeah, he's like, so what do you think about this? He's like, I don't care.
Yeah. So seeing this was no surprise. And I think it looks fantastic, but I'm also with Keco. Not really what I think of when I think of Indiana Jones. I mean, even back when Crystal Skull came out, I was like, he's too old to be doing this. I mean, that movie is not good. It's just like objectively a bad film. This movie sounds like it's more of the same, just really terrible. I don't know. But I'm also kind of with Will. I enjoy the first Indiana Jones. Like casually, I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan. I've seen the second one. I don't think I've seen the third. I don't even know why I watched Crystal Skull, if I'm being honest.
The Last Crusade is one of the best movies ever, especially with Sean Connery in it.
I have to watch it because I just never I don't know. I never watched it. Not because I don't
story the right way, and that should have been the ending.
Yeah, not that I don't enjoy it enough to finish it. We weren't an Indian household, I guess. But anyway, I think this figure overall is a win, and I think it's pretty good. It's just, how much do you like the movie? Like Keco said, he could end up fucking loving the movie and come back and eat his words. Like, hey guys, I was wrong. This figure's badass. I'm going to get it. That is entirely possible. I don't know. But if you love Indiana Jones and you just want an Indiana Jones and think it's cool to have him on your shelf as like an older guy, I think it's a win too. So overall, I think this is a positive figure. Again, innovative, using real leather on different parts, not just a jacket. I think it's fucking cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. I mean, objectively, like we're all in agreement here. I think that it's an objectively good figure. It's pretty good. So
I totally called this on our show on Tuesday because we were guessing what figures we were going to see over the summer, and I was like, I think we're going to see Indiana Jones, and some people thought I was crazy, and then the next day they announced it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hey, it is pretty cool, bro. It is pretty cool. And it's funny. We got some really good comments. Who was it who said, Will, you're not that old, but damn, did you watch any movies growing up? Yeah, dude, I was born in 1991. Okay. So this is a little bit before me. So yeah.
I think because you kept talking about like old films compared to like you watched Creed first,
Right. I watched
right?
Creed first. Yeah.
And the way people make movies now is so different than
Yep.
back in the 80s that it's really hard to compare them. But yeah, that's it's hard to even say that the original Rocky's not good. That movie's fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of people love it, and I'm willing to concede that one. But yeah, I mean, look, the bar to me is Terminator 2. Terminator 2, bro.
Oh,
That is excellent.
Dude,
That is
1991, the VFX in that film, groundbreaking, and it still looks good today. That to me is the bar. Like if I see films and people say like, "Oh, it was the 90s," I'm like, Terminator 2, bro. Terminator 2.
Terminator 2, the original RoboCop.
Yeah,
those are hard movies to. You'd be really hard pressed to find better films even made today.
right.
Those movies
And it's
really
kind of how I
hard.
feel about Lord of the Rings in the 2000s.
Come
Like,
with
Lord
me
of the
if you
Rings
want
still
to
holds
live.
up super well.
Yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts on Indiana Jones. I think it's pretty exciting. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy people are getting Indiana Jones because there was a lot of excitement about it. So to me, I think it looks like a great figure. I just don't really care about Indiana Jones, but for the people that do, I'm glad that you're getting one. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Let's talk about a win. And guys, like I said, we missed a little bit of news last week, so I want to make sure we cover everything here. And I want to ask the question, we can cover this one, I think, relatively quickly. Moon Knight has been released. Did Hot Toys land among the stars? Because, when you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you land among the stars, right? So
that's not true objectively. The
dude,
stars are much further
but it sounds
away.
good, Dean. It
Well, I
sounds
don't
good.
believe space is real. So
Yeah, right. Exactly, bro. And I wanted to share a photo, an official Hot Toys photo here from Mr. Keco Collects.
oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's pretty legit, right? So that background looks amazing, by the way. So I really, really like that. But guys, I want to, like I said, discuss this Moon Knight figure. So I'm going to see what the chat thinks about it too. This is one, honestly, that I've even been tempted with, but I think I'm going to pass on it just because of the amount of space I currently have. I did honestly, I liked the show. I thought it was good. There's not perfect, but I liked it overall. And the scene where I don't want to spoil too much for the people, I'm sure most people have probably seen it, but for the scene where he actually finds out kind of what's going on with his mom and such, I thought that scene was just phenomenal. Like the acting in that from Oscar Isaac is just out of this world good. That showed how talented of an actor he truly is. Besides the drama films he's done before in sci-fi like Ex Machina and stuff like that, he's been amazing and all that stuff. So Keco, I gotta ask the question, bro. Is Moon Knight here? Is he a star? Is he a winner for the year for Hot Toys? What do you think?
If you remember 2 weeks ago when we were doing this show, people said that Moon Knight potentially could be a sleeper figure for people. And damn, if I'm not seeing everybody saying, man, gotta find Moon Knight, gotta get Moon Knight, went ahead and ordered Moon Knight because, and people, yes, that's my photo I picked out there. I gotta say objectively, one of the best figures I've ever held in my hand. And
Wow.
I did not think the show ended well at all. Like I said, the giant kaiju fight in front of the temples, not sure what happened there. It started off very promising, very strong, fun, but it wasn't Marvel's strongest entry. But the character of Moon Knight, something special. And this figure is so good in so many ways that although I said that nothing is topping Carnage at this point for being figure of the year, the more I play with this, the more I wonder if I may have spoke too soon. Each time I took a photo, each time I did something with it, I mean, just look at that right there. The detail in the chest, the sculpting on the mask and everything, even like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the granular pieces they put into like the dust, the pitting I'm looking for on the metal is so good and intricate. The biggest point of problem for this figure for me is that you can't get the hands on. The hands are a huge issue trying to actually get on because he's got gauntlets that come really far down. So you have to what you need to do is take the gauntlet off, pop the wrist peg off, put the hand on, put it back on, and slide it under the gauntlet. That's the only way to get it in firmly. But if that's the only problem I have with this figure, it's awesome. I thought that little moon base was going to be so stupid and silly. It's awesome. It looks so good, so cool, such great presence. And I'm finally excited that we're talking about something great for once. This figure is an absolute must if you even slightly like the character. If you don't and you have no attachment to it, don't waste your time. Don't just get something because everyone said to get it. Have some attachment or enjoy something or just like to waste money like I do. So with this though, it's a 9.5 out of 10 simply because of the hands. That's my only issue with the figure at all.
Right. And I got to say, bro, if you're just looking at this as a figure, the amount of shelf presence this has is incredible. I think for people who are in your again, we don't always collect for other people. I get that. But when you're looking at in your collection, you're looking at shelf presence. This is one of the figures that people are going to go to and be like, that looks cool. That grabs my attention, right? And I think this is one of those. And it could be a sleeper figure of the year. We'll see. But the
Just
hands
the
thing,
all white always stands out on a shelf because
Yeah, it
everyone kind
does.
of gravitates towards that.
it does. And the chest thing, I think honestly, it's fine. People were originally complaining about the chest area. I think it's fine. Like I think it's
Yeah, they were saying it had the Shang-Chi boobies and all
Shang-Chi.
that.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is almost perfectly screen accurate. I
Yeah.
think it's great. Absolutely
Yeah.
great.
I think so. I think it's pretty great, bro. I love it. So, Dean, what do you think, bro? Is Hot Toys, do they have a winner on their hands here with Moon Knight?
This figure's fucking garbage. No, I'm just kidding.
Wild card Dean.
And Star Wars
No.
is okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. My only complaint with it, and which is the only reason I'm not picking this up, is we only saw this guy for like a combined like 5 minutes in that fucking show. Like
Mm.
you rarely see him in this form, which it's a problem for me. Just in terms of like connecting with it, wanting it on my shelf, it's like I barely saw him do anything. I saw Oscar Isaac and whatever his characters' names are. Like I would be more inclined to add those characters to the shelf, because they were so involved in the show. Obviously, I know it's the same guy, but is it though? But the figure looks fantastic. I think I've seen some people do weathering to it, and I think that looks incredible when you kind of dull down the white. Wait, what'd you say?
I'm saying I'm not bold enough to do that.
Oh yeah, I'm not either. I would definitely leave mine alone because I don't have the skills necessary. Because he's so white, but he's also super white on screen. So it's probably more accurate to leave him like this, because I mean, really, when he does show up on screen, he pops against the background of the show. So yeah, I think overall this is a fantastic figure. Definitely took people by surprise because most people were just kind of like meh when this figure was announced and released. But now that it actually came out, yeah, more people are like, damn, I gotta pick this up. So
And for the people out there complaining, why didn't he have a wired hood like Ronin? Because it would look like shit. Because people
Yeah,
don't know how to
it
style
would.
things. So this looks great sculpted, and you got
Yeah.
movement. It's fine.
I think this is a good choice to sculpt this hood, actually. Yeah, I think this is fine.
yeah, it has the like Assassin's Creed vibe to it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and when people make those in 6 scale, I don't think they ever look right.
Right.
So yeah, I think sculpted hood is fine.
Well, I can just tell
And
you, yeah, it's just difficult. Like the Pop Toy Scorpion has a wired hood, and it just takes some time and a lot of effort to make sure it looks normal. Like it
Yeah.
looks good. Yeah. It just
And not
looks
only that, but like all of his armor bits have the wrap around them that are sculpted,
good.
and
Mhm.
the balance works. Like even though it doesn't match the cape per se, it matches everything else that's on his body, and it all blends together really nice. I think it looks fantastic.
I just think this is a really, really nice figure, and this could be one I consider down the line. Like if there's discounts to be had, then maybe it could be something I pick up.
This
But
could go waitlist real soon because so
Yeah,
many
we'll see.
people are jumping on it because they're like, damn, this is better than I thought it was going to be. So
yeah,
if you
we'll
want
see.
one and actually want one, not just because you're following a hype,
Right.
then
Yeah,
definitely it's worth it.
yeah. Until I see him do some shit in like a movie or something,
Right.
because again, the show is almost not even about Moon Knight, right? It's about
Yeah, in a way.
Oscar Isaac's character and his journey through his mind, right? So until we see him do some shit in a movie, I'm okay not having a Moon Knight.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do think this is pretty dope. And I'm wondering how much they're going to change this outfit over time. Maybe is it like Mando, where Mando, they haven't really changed it that much lately? Maybe
I don't think they should change anything.
I don't think so. I think it's
I
perfect.
think
how
they nailed
is.
it. Yeah.
But I mean, they always do, Dean. They always change something because they want to sell more figures. And,
Yeah,
and
there's like
toys
that
and-
version where
Hey,
you got
we-
the black face on it or whatever. I mean, I don't think that would look as good on screen because this one looks so good on screen.
Yeah, this one looks great.
Well, don't forget we've also gotten like how many Peter Quills?
Oh, yeah.
Words.
That's true, bro. That's
Essentially the
true.
same
And the last
figure.
one, I think, is the best head sculpt, but the worst outfit. That's what I would say. Like the Starlit outfits had so much personality, and then when you put the team suit on him, not as much a fan of that. But yeah, this Moon Knight figure is very tempting, but I'm gonna hold off for now. But it looks real nice. It looks real nice. And Kiko's photos didn't help because they're just phenomenal. But at least we got a W fig in there for Keco, so we're happy to get that one. Happy to oblige there. We got to talk about something real quick too. Hot Toys Spider-Man 2099 has been updated, right? And I want to ask the question, this is a good way for us to explore this, is criticizing Hot Toys effective? We have not seen the updated suit yet. They've just kind of teased it in the background here. But I don't know why they didn't do this to begin with. Maybe there was some practical reason where they needed to have joints on it and need to be that way. But maybe they said, fuck it, you're going to get it. This is what people want. We're just going to do it, right? Clearly it's effective, right? But I want to ask you guys, how effective is it? Because we were kind of touching on this a little bit earlier in the show. And now that we got an actual update because people complained so much about this was not something IGN covered that I saw, but I think it is something that the internet was very much aware of, because this Spider-Man 2099 was a bad look for Hot Toys across the web for the people that were following this type of stuff. Keco, what do you think? Is criticizing Hot Toys effective? Because it sure as shit seems to be to me.
I want to talk about criticizing in general, because everyone was saying, oh, no, you can't criticize in-art. Not fair. Can't be doing that stuff. No. That people lit me up for being critical of in-art, but we're allowed to be critical of Hot Toys. I don't understand why that's there. But this is the point I made, is about criticizing companies in general. If you buy a figure, you essentially are a shareholder of that company. So if you buy and purchase their product, you then have the ability to speak into their business directions. They don't always have to listen to you, but as a consumer, because you purchase something, you have a say-so of what you just purchased. They don't have to listen to you. Sure, they most likely won't, but you do, if you purchase something, have the ability and the right to say something that bothers you and why I said something about the in-art stuff. The people that bitched about the in-art stuff may not have even bought one in the first place. So, but as somebody actually that owned one, I said, okay, I have the right to say this because I own one. So I just want to get that point out there about criticizing, about, if you are a consumer of a product, yes, you are allowed to be critical of it. That's how you grow through the pain and the breakage and things like that. That's how growth is. Will, you and I have talked about this. That is where growth comes from, is through controversy and pushback and pain and things like that. And so life lessons there, everybody. That's free. So let's get back to this. Is criticizing Hot Toy effective? Yes and no, because there's a lot of people. There needs to be this idea of balance, I think, because bitching over everything for no reason, simply just to be that guy for clicks, or people think that's me all the time for in-art, that I'm just out there just trying to just say, crazy stuff to get views. There's a difference of actual being critical. When we saw this 2099 originally, we're like, whoa, this does not look like any Hot Toy figure that has ever been produced. There's visible joints. It looks crazy. This looks like a giant SH Figuarts. It looks like a Metacoms. It does not look like a Hot Toys figure. So yes, that is right to say, what happened here? And so they came back and they said, okay, you're right. We will fix this and make it right. And so, okay, good. They're listening to their consumers. And I think that's a great, great thing. So, but you have to understand that everything you can say about, I don't like the lips or on Obi-Wan or whatever, fix the head sculpt. I don't like the way the crease in this leather, change it back to leather. No pleather, no more. They're going to make the business decisions that make sense to them. Okay. And they obviously were hitting the pocketbook with this one. They're like, damn, no one's pre-ordering this. We need to make this a change real fast. That's what this comes from. Because I guarantee they look at some type of analytics to make these decisions, because some of the things they're like, fuck off. I don't care what you have to say about any of my products out there, because there's a lot of things they don't address, but there's somehow they knew that this one was an issue and they fixed it. I think the Supergirl is going to be an issue where they fix it as well, just because it's so vocal and they're not going to get any pre-orders, at least not the amount that they're hoping for, by not addressing it. So is it criticizing it effective? Sure, if it's valid. Don't be a whiny bitch, but actually be productive. Being critical, last thing I'll say, being critical is fine if you provide a solution to it. Whining about something with no path forward does not help the case at all, because give them a reason and then say what you think could happen, and we'll see what happens.
That's fair and that's reasonable. And I think we have a good example here. Dean can probably speak to this about what Collecting Weekly did within our Gandalf. That was perfect, right? You guys went on a campaign and they changed it. So I think as long as it's productive and good constructive criticism and feedback, and it's loud enough that people, Hot Toys will listen to it. But Dean, what do you think, bro? What do you think about this criticism with Hot Toys and the changes? Because like we talked about with Supergirl, I don't even think it's a question. They're going to change it now. There's too much backlash. What do you think about the process?
Yeah, like you said, good, effective, and respectful.
Mhm.
Um, uh, Criticism is always a good thing because I think for the most part you'll get a better result from whatever it is, whether it's a toy or whatever. I don't think you necessarily need to be a purchaser to see something that's a problem and voice an opinion on it. I don't need to know how to fly a plane to know it doesn't belong in a tree, right? Um, or it's like, oh, you didn't vote for X, Y, and Z. You don't get to criticize how they. It's like, well, I don't think you necessarily need to be a patron of sorts to voice an opinion, but I just wanted to counterpoint Keco there.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as you're making good, concise, thought out criticisms and you offer a solution, like with a Spider-Man. Why why is there no cloth suit? It doesn't make sense. It's now not going to match any of the other figures I have bought from you, and that's a problem. It's an issue. And they went and retooled it and put on a fabric suit, and we'll see how it looks. So yeah, I think it's always a good thing to be able to criticize, again, as long as it's respectful. There's a lot of people that shouldn't be on the internet that say a lot of shitty things to people.
Facts.
And artists have, especially Hot Toys artists, always have to take to their Instagrams and like, guys, like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, why are you fucking messaging me all this shit? Let those people do their jobs and do it where it's appropriate. And like you said, we've seen this work before, and not just with InArt and the stuff we did with the Gandalf staff, but Hot Toys. They've changed stuff in the past. They've also changed stuff without us even asking. Like the Batman, they updated the sculpt, the Pattinson Batman, and there's probably some more instances I could think of, but I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, I think it's definitely effective because they want our money, and we want to give them our money. And the prices we're paying also, it's like, hey, this isn't a $20 figure. This is quite a chunk of change, over $300 usually when it's all said and done, taxes and shipping. So yeah, you should definitely get what you expect for that money. That's not an insignificant amount of money, and especially in a time where people don't really have a lot of just lucrative or shit money to be spending on trivial shit. It's like, hey, you really got to step it up if I'm going to be paying you this. So I think it's always a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too, bro. And as long as it's respectful, like we've all said, then it's valuable, and it's valuable input into the system for Hot Toys. So I think that's always good. But yeah, I mean, the market's just tough right now. Try selling anything for what you paid for it, unless it's like a long sold out item. It's just not going to happen. So, so yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. But guys, let us know what you think about criticism of Hot Toys. I've seen some great comments in the chat. Let us know, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, I think it's valuable as long as it's helpful. So I want to ask you guys. We're going to do a fun little exercise here. Like I said, I've been cataloging, of course, the releases and announcements from Hot Toys, and I'll zoom way in here. I've been cataloging the releases and announcements for Hot Toys for 2023 thus far. This is the first year that I've done this. I saw some people asking for like a whole catalog of when things are going to be released and so forth. I haven't done that yet because that would be a lot of work. That would be like with changing windows and timelines and stuff like that. That would just be a lot to catalog. But I have cataloged the releases and announcements so far. So far we have 11 Star Wars announcements halfway through the year, 19 Marvel, 5 DC, and 3 Back to the Future. So that's the only other IP besides the big 3 that you have seen. DC obviously lagging pretty far behind, and Marvel still clearly the cash cow, despite there being a lot of hype for Star Wars. Those are releases rather. So for announcements, Marvel's still in the lead, 14, 10 to 10. So this is actually pretty even. A lot of it DC, though, is Batman. We talked about this. Almost all of it is Batman. There are a few DC's stuff now, like Supergirl and Flash and so forth, that have been announced that are not Batman, but a lot of DC stuff going on. That said, I want to ask you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, Keco, how would you rate the first 2 quarters of the year for Hot Toys thus far? I mean, because you can see here we have about 39 releases or so, and then we have about 39 announcements. So we're pretty much dead even as far as my data is concerned. And we've had some pretty good ones, and some pretty good releases. Keco, how would you score this on a 1 to 10 so far for the first 2 quarters for Hot Toys?
It's a good question because it varies depending on what you are into. Because if you are a DC fan, you're probably like, wow, releases are a little light this year. Don't really got a lot to go on. If you hate Batman and you're only like a Superman person, you're like, wow, I'm really not having a good time. So I think it really depends on what you're excited about. But overall, as a business model, I'm going to say like an 8, mainly because they've put out some really, really good figures. Some of them have been but none of them have been like, whoa, other than Thena today. That was probably the one you're like, whoa. But overall, I'm like, okay, they're giving me things I want. Some things are coming out a lot sooner than we had anticipated. I think that's a huge win, such as Crosshair showing up a lot earlier, like an entire quarter more than we wanted. Wanda came out, which I'm happy about. I'm super happy about that. And, the other Wanda's right around the corner. So I'm real excited about that. As far as announcements, those are the only things that are a little bit concerning, only because can you keep up this pace? And, they are getting into the catalog of the things that were pre-ordered or revealed 2 years ago. Okay. They have obviously announced a lot more now. So will they be able to keep up the production level that they currently have and the quality of that production in 2 years when some of these new announcements are officially released? That's the big question you need to ask. But I'm happy with what we got. I don't think there's anything that I'm like, damn, where's Wanda? Because I got Wanda. That's the one thing I wanted. That was the big thing that I was really hoping to show up. But are you satisfied? Yeah, as a consumer, I'm satisfied. I've scratched my itch. We've had all the Bad Batch figures revealed. Half of them have been released. That's fantastic. If you're a Batman fan, you're eating good. I mean, think about all the things that you have to come from the Batman, world. That's awesome. And if you're Star Wars, pretty much the only miss I would say is maybe, and I don't think we talked about this, is the IG-12 and the accessory pack. I think that's the only thing that is a miss from Star Wars. Everything else is pretty good. Even if you don't like Reva, it's a pretty phenomenal looking character. And I think it's going to turn out pretty good. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I'm happy with reveals and releases. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I would say overall, Keco, too, we haven't even really seen Mando season 3 stuff yet. So, all you got is the IG-12. Like Dean had mentioned earlier, you're probably going to get Praetorian Guards. You're probably going to get another Mando somehow. You're probably going to get another Bo-Katan. So there's going to be, Moff Gideon, that cool suit. So there's probably going to be Star Wars figures to be had from Mando. And again, you have to remember also, we finally got that C-3PO we always wanted, right? So that people have forgotten about that already, but guy. Yeah, that's what, and the Darth Vader people went crazy for. So if you're talking about the big announcements of the year thus far, I mean, the Spider-Verse 2 Miles has been pretty good overall. I don't know, people have been hyped about it, but the Darth Vader for sure. I mean, the Kang was cool, at least for a little bit. Now it's not so much. Bane, Dark Knight Rises, that was January. I'm super hyped for that. I cannot wait for that Bane from the Dark Knight Rises. That thing is beautiful. The Clone Wars Obi-Wan, people were waiting a long time for that one. The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, the diorama base with Lizard. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on there. And as far as releases go, I mean, we got Shang-Chi, Iron Man Mark 1, DeLorean. I mean, you got a lot of good stuff on here. So, I mean, I'm
going to throw one more thing out there before Dean jumps in, is that people have been clamoring for more vehicles. And not only have we had more actually released or revealed, but we've actually had, released, but things are revealed. You're getting the 89 Batmobile. You've gotten all these different types of like speeder bike things from the Clone Wars, the DeLorean release, which is fantastic. And so if you are into bigger purchases and bigger vehicles and things like that, I think it's a great win.
Well, think of it this way, Dean, before I let you jump in, is like, if Hot Toys maintains this pace, right? The data that I had from what people told me, they buy generally somewhere between 1 and 7 Hot Toys per year with their budget, right? We've had 39 releases thus far this year already. So if you're tracking pretty close to that, we're close to 80 releases maybe by the end of the year, right? And you can only buy 7 of those tops, right? think about what that's going to do to the market. Like all these figures flooding in, but most collectors maybe not buying 90% of them. So that's why things are so low right now too. And maybe that's why you're seeing like lower sizes, lower batches, because something's got to give, right? So, and people's budget are generally going to be their concern. That said, Dean, what do you think? Are you satisfied? I mean, I would give it a 7 personally. Where are you at?
Yeah, I mean, we got Carnage came out, which you know, a lot of people are saying figure of the year. Moon Knight, Keco just said it might be figure of the year. You know, the DeLorean was not without its issues.
Right.
They seem to have sorted themselves out. I don't know if that was a batch 1 thing or what, but then you got figures like the Mando Luke that people absolutely love.
Dean, don't forget about Captain America Sam Wilson. That was another great one.
Yeah, fantastic figure. That took a lot of people by surprise. I mean, shit, even the Neon Tech Iron Man with the gantry, pretty fucking cool. I think Neon Techs are fucking stupid, and I will never own one, but I objectively very cool. The Bad Batch figures that have come out, I mean, wins. Yeah, I think in terms of releases, an absolute banger of the year. In terms of the announcements, like you said, the Vader from Obi-Wan, that people have been wanting a battle damage Vader for as long as I can remember. The C-3PO everyone wanted. That alone is a 10 out of 10 year. I'm not even kidding. I've been waiting for that C-3PO forever. So yeah, I meant like honestly like a 8 or a 9 for the year, like, you know, averaging both releases and announcements. So yeah, I think it's a pretty solid year.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of Batman stuff, and again, if we're looking at it, you got, as far as announcements go, 10 Star Wars, 14 Marvel, 10 DC, and 1 Indiana Jones. I'm really interested to see that Star Wars and DC are tracking pretty even right now. They're pretty.
Do you have the Wolverine on there?
Forgot about that one. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, he should be. If he was announced this year, he should be. He must have been announced last year. If he's not.
Oh, maybe he was.
I think the Battle Damage Vader was last year too, Dean. Technically.
Okay, but 2 figures with real leather. Is cool.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, that's a good one too. So
it's interesting, Will. I was going to say, are you doing this for InArt too? Are you satisfied?
I have not, but I can do it for.
Don't worry, it's one cell. You don't have to work that hard.
It's one cell, dude. You were just waiting for that punchline. Yeah, dude. Honestly, I should track InArt. That's a good point. I will. Maybe I'll have to go back and do it because you're right. It's one cell. So yeah, but I got to look up, Keco. I know you might have it. We can connect on it, but like the original like release and announcement dates and everything, like what they planned for and like when they went up for PO and stuff like that. Because I mean, Pennywise went up a while ago, as did Gandalf, but they should be coming pretty soon. But guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below about what you think. Hot Toys first 2 quarters so far. Again, I think it's pretty interesting data to analyze there. I'm gonna say a 7. So Dean, what was your overall score? Like an 8, you said, right?
Yeah, like an
8, and Keco's around an 8. So yeah, I think we're all pretty happy overall. So I think it should be pretty exciting. So we got a little bit more time, another like half hour or so, but I'm gonna try to get through as much as we can. I want to talk about something real quick. This one's for Keco. We got to bring this up, and there's gonna be some other stuff that we bring up, but I gotta make Keco happy here. So we're gonna talk about this. I wanted to share something, and I actually ran it by the guys, so hopefully this plays okay. But I'm gonna show something real quick. This is the Michael Jackson. I don't know.
Give it to me. Shoot it, MJ. Give me some time.
Dude.
Oh no! MJ, what are you doing? You know I'm bad.
Dude, I thought that was funny, bro. I thought that was
really funny.
Dude, I think it's funny, bro. I think it's funny. So, guys, let us know in the chat below whether you think it's funny. But I thought it was a cool little intro to this MJ because we got an MJ statue, right? We got something that's coming from Blitzway. It's called a Black Label. And Keco's going to have to explain this one for me. I did see that it's quarter scale. It's set to come out 2024, first quarter, $1,300 for this edition. And Blitzway has it on their website. But Keco was telling me maybe you can't order it if you're in the US. But the question is it bad? Is it Michael Jackson bad? Is the point. Keco, what do you think about the statue, bro? Because he's got the golden diaper on, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. It's like, or a golden chastity belt or something. I don't know what it is. It's one of those two. But bro, is this statue Michael Jackson bad? What do you think?
I'm gonna have to step away from the mic for this because, oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Someone
Hope
clip
that
that
wasn't-
out, please.
Yeah, hope that wasn't too loud.
No, it's fine.
As someone who is a big Michael Jackson fan, as if you know me, I am. I got a giant Michael Jackson statue over there. I got all the Hot Toys Michael Jackson. I have the third-party Michael Jackson stuff. My buddy, my co-host from my podcast, Will, brought me a People's Magazine Michael Jackson cover when he came here to Tennessee or whatever, and I actually put that in my display as well. So this controversy aside, we're not talking about the personality of whether you think he's weird or anything like that. Let's just talk about the entertainer himself. There has never been, nor will there ever be, another entertainer or performer like Michael Jackson. You're like, well, I saw some absolute sacrilege today because Taylor Swift is playing at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati tonight or whatever. And they're like, what is the deal with Taylor Swift and everyone, blah, 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 you know, it's on the news here in Cincinnati, blah, blah, blah. What's going on? They're like, she's the modern day Michael Jackson. And I almost like shot myself in the chest. Like, that is so ridiculous to say because this is a guy that would literally have people passing out at his concerts. People would do anything to just get a little more of MJ. His music videos were moments where people sat around the TV and watched the premiere of his music videos because they were so cutting edge and just ahead of their time. The Thriller album is the best-selling album still today of all time. Their music video of Thriller is one of the craziest things you'll ever see. We have movies coming out now called Dial of Destiny that don't even have the same effects that the Michael Jackson Thriller video had. So all that to say, this is from the Dangerous tour. And this is what he wore at the Super Bowl when he literally jumped out of the floor, sat there for a minute and a half, didn't move. And people just like were losing their mind. Then he takes the glasses off and the beat starts and then the show starts. He's an unbelievable performer. Now, I'm 36 years old. I understand there's some people that have no idea, or basically he'd possibly even died by the time that you got to even know who he was. Dude is an incredible performer, incredible entertainer. And this is the highlight of one of the most powerful moments, I guess, in his career, the Dangerous tour, which is wild. And so the Blitzway Black Label is essentially their high-end hyper real version of some of their statues. There's a standard version of this, and there is the Black Label. Essentially, this is their first version, or their first figure, statue, whatever you want to call it, first piece in their Black Label line. This is 001 Michael Jackson from the Dangerous tour. It's got real hair, it's got hyper realistic skin, all that stuff. It looks incredible. I don't think you can deny that it looks fantastic. And so, is it bad? Absolutely, it's bad. Shimon. I'm so excited for this, and it's a day one pre-order for me. The only thing is because it's a little more challenging to get Blitzway stuff if you're stateside, because I don't really feel comfortable ordering directly from the Blitzway site. I'd like to get it from a US retailer if possible. So I'm still trying to figure this out, but I will own this statue. I have the Pure Arts version of his Smooth Criminal. It's a 1/3 statue. This is going to look incredible. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe Comic Concepts will carry it. I'm sure he probably will, or Sideshow or something like that. You could probably find it at one of those two. So yeah, I think that would work. But it does look incredible, bro. It really does. But yeah, I mean, I think with a lot of people, the question is, do you collect musicians? Because InArt's going to be making a Michael Jackson too. So there's going to be a lot of options out there for musicians, and it is kind of maybe an underexplored area of collecting. I mean, you're starting to see some of the third parties with Freddie Mercury, and you're seeing the Blitzway like Kurt Cobain and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, Dean, I want to get your opinion on this Michael Jackson. What do you think about this quarter scale Michael Jackson 1300? That's pretty good, honestly. I mean, I paid $1,200 for Balder, and this has rooted hair and stuff. So I think it's pretty good. What do you think, Dean?
Yeah. 1300 is a little high, but like you said, it's got rooted hair, real clothing.
Yeah.
I think it looks fantastic. I'm also not super I mean, I know what Michael Jackson looks like, so like I think it looks pretty good, but I bet there's people out there that can nitpick this thing, you know, until the cows come home. So yeah, I mean, pretty iconic outfit. Like you said, with the golden, I don't know what the fuck any of this is, but that's what he looked like. That's what he wore. Like Keco said, he was an entertainer. Everything he did was for the fucking show of it all. So yeah, if you love Michael Jackson, I think this is and you got $1,300 to spend. This is cool. I like it.
I think
I
it's pretty
wouldn't
cool,
own
too.
it, but
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
know.
own it either. But I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see whether people go down the musician line, because that's something that a lot of people have said they wanted, but I want to see if they support it. So yeah, it's going to be
Bro,
interesting.
someone comes up with a third scale Daft Punk statue, I'm fucking buying it. You know,
Dude.
there are those artists that people, and I've been saying this for a long time. I think that's an untapped gold mine is musicians.
It could be. But we'll see, right? Because you can't have everything, so people have to drop some of the superhero
Right.
stuff.
I
to
wanted
get
a
on the
Guns N' Roses
computers.
slash something like this. You don't talk about musicians and things. I would
Yeah.
love some like hyper.
Yeah, because we saw that what's his name? The guitar player.
Kurt Cobain.
Oh, we did also see Kurt Cobain.
And
no,
Jimi Hendrix. Did. Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, thank you.
Yeah. Jimi Hendrix.
We saw those recently, and I back then I was saying like, dude, people love. I mean, music is something, at least in my average every day, is I listen to music.
Yeah.
People listen to music in their cars, in the shower, you know, when they're cooking. Like, music is something that, you know, everybody kind of abides. So, again, that's like a huge market. I think that figure makers are missing out on. So
yeah. Well, it's funny, Keco, too, that you mentioned Taylor Swift. Wouldn't it be Bruno Mars? I would feel like he would be more Michael Jackson like he's kind of.
I think we're just talking about gross tourage money,
right?
making
Like
and such,
popularity.
So, yeah,
right.
because she's currently generating $1 billion on this tour of revenue.
Oh yeah,
and apparently, whenever she comes to a town, they get like $100 million in revenue around the community and such. Which that's why the cities are talking about it, because it's essentially bringing the Super Bowl to your town. So that's why the communities are talking about it.
Yeah, people love Taylor Swift.
They do, bro.
I certainly don't.
Dude, the people
I
who love
don't
Taylor
like
Swift,
her
they're
music.
intense about it.
I don't like Taylor Swift's music, but she could get it, bro. Taylor,
Dude,
if you're watching this,
she could write a song about you, Dean. That would be the next one. It'll be called Dean the Dream. I could imagine that.
It was Dean the Dream, and I met him at the place, and it's really good, and I like this song.
That's pretty much how she.
That's pretty much every Taylor Swift song, right?
Hey, if it sells, you know,
it'll sell. And Dean, you get a cut, dude. You get a cut of the revenue.
There you go. Sweet.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your thoughts on that. We got a super chat, a very, very, very generous super chat. Brandon, thank you so much, bro. Dude, guys, check out Brandon on Instagram. Brandon, you have to drop your Instagram below, bro, because dude, some amazing photos, amazing content out there. The dude is killing it. Love Brandon. Great super chat, bro. I really appreciate you. Excellent dense show today, gents. Lots of great conversations. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. We've tried to have some good conversations, man. Sorry, my brain's a little bit fried. I've been talking all day at work, so that's kind of what's going on.
Shiny said Taylor Swift's not good enough for me. That's probably true.
well, I mean, honestly, yeah, a lot of people aren't good enough for Dean, so this wouldn't be anything. $1 billion ain't mean shit, honestly. She's got to be better for Dean. We want $2 billion. So anyway, guys. Thanks so much. So yeah, all right, guys. Well, let's move on to the next topic here. And I want to make sure we have enough time to talk about this. It's probably going to be a pretty quick one because it's mostly me that cares about it. But we got to talk about it. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about something pretty exciting.
It's your turn now, Will.
Yeah, I know, right? This is my turn to gush, right? So this is funny because I like I said, I did not live stream this because of my Modulate setup, which again, I'm hoping to have these done and set up by the end of the weekend, this weekend. So we will see. Got to get them clean, set up, get everything in, get the figures, get the statues, everything. So, but Prime One did a showcase over last Saturday, and they showed some really cool stuff. There was a lot of sort of anime stuff I wasn't as into, some DC stuff, Batman, of course, some other stuff like Berserk and stuff like that. But they saved the best for last. They waited and showed The Last of Us Part 1 statue. This is a quarter scale statue, a diorama statue. You get Ellie, you get Joel, you get some swappable parts, you get a clicker, you get some really cool diorama parts. On the back of the base, you have like a clicker sort of into the quarterceps. Looks really, really cool. Again, not everyone is a statue collector here, but this is something I'd be remiss if I did not talk about because of how excited I am for it. This is a dopo. I'm going to get this day one. This is going to be shipped to me. I can't wait to see how much the price is. We've had some speculation out there in terms of how much this is actually going to cost. But for video game collectors, this is a very, I think, going to be awesome statue. We're going to look at the edition size eventually when that is announced. But for the meantime, we've been waiting on Limb Toys and other one-scale companies to do a Joel and Ellie from the game. However, if you're a Last of Us fan, this is a hard statue to ignore. That's a Keco. Is this statue worth making space for? Because, I mean, if you were to type, if you were to say Grail, if you Urban Dictionary had pictures and you typed in Grail, this would be the picture, bro. This is Last of Us Part 1. This is not, I mean, By the way, Dean, I got to talk to you, bro. I've actually been enjoying Last of Us Part 2, so something might be wrong with me, but I've actually been enjoying.
Well, you like the sequel trilogy, so there's
yeah. Well, I
definitely
guess maybe
something
not.
wrong
It
with
all
it.
makes sense. Makes sense. So,
I'm
Keco,
just
what do you
so
think, bro? Is this
confused.
statue worth making space for?
Because it means something to you, Will.
Mm.
Yes, because the things that mean something to you, you want to show it off. You want there to be a representation of the things that mean something to you. So when people walk in and they're like, "Hey, what means stuff to you?" You point and say, "This stuff means something to me. This is a representation of me." And so I think that's awesome. So as I said, well, I'm still in the backlog of games I'm trying to get caught up with on my PS5 and all that stuff. I've not made it to Last of Us, and I didn't finish the series as well because I kind of got a little bit sleepy, and I was like, so I'm sorry to hurt you like that. You hurt me saying Star Wars was okay, so I'm going to hurt you saying that I fell asleep and couldn't
It's
finish
okay.
the Last of Us show. But for what it is, I mean, what a cool pose. I mean, what a cool dynamic opportunity to show really cool stuff. So if this is you, Will, yeah, man, make some room for it. That's the thing, is that if you like something, you're going to make space for it. And that's when it comes down to purchases, is you don't have to double guess about, do I need to make this? Do I need to have this? You were chatting with me, Will, about all these module spaces, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you measure it right. Because spoiler, I was considering getting into the module space thing. You're like, make sure you measure properly, because I did not measure properly on a couple things. I'm like, oh no. And he's like, I need to make sure that I have room for these statues. And because it means something to you, Dave. And yeah, man, if something means something to you, yeah, you make it work.
Yeah, I think so too, bro. And yeah, with the module space, Keco is right. The measurements, I had to move them around slightly because originally I did not think about the depth, kind of threw me off. So I was originally going to put the statues here, but then I moved them over there and it just worked better. But yeah, measure your stuff 10 times before you order, but it all worked out.
You've scared me, man. I'm just honest.
It all worked out, bro. It all worked out. So it ended up being great. So it honestly ended up being better than I thought it was going to be. So it worked out perfectly. But yeah, this Last of Us statue, and I see some comments. Yeah, the T1000 and the T800 were pretty cool too. Maybe we could talk about those in another show, but they were pretty great. But Dean, bro. And by the way, I see your comment, Daniel, and I do actually agree with you. I would love an Ellie Part 2 statue. The Prime 1 Ellie, I'm not a huge fan of. Like the pose of her sort of crouching down. It doesn't look as right without Abby, and I fucking hate Abby, and I don't want Abby. So I would love to get an Ellie, but I just wish they did a better pose or scene or something. But anyway, Dean, what do you think, bro, about the statue? Is this you're a Last of Us fan from what I remember. What do you think?
Yeah, The Last of Us is without a question one of the greatest video games ever made. I mean, compelling story, really.
Have you played Donkey Kong Country though?
It's on the list.
That's a good question.
I said of one of the best games ever. So without a doubt, even like I don't buy Last of Us stuff, but even I know it's definitely worth making space for. And I know that you really love Last of Us, and yeah, and you already have a really cool like video game section of statues. You have the Kratos and the I forget the other guy's name.
Balder, yeah.
So I think this would look really cool in that display. So yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. And it's The Last of Us 1, which makes it better because Last of Us 2 is fucking utter garbage. Yeah, I think this is fantastic. You said it's quarter scale?
Yeah, it's quarter scale. Yep.
Quarter scale, 3 people. What? 20?
I was thinking 2,500.
Yeah, I was gonna say 24.
Yeah, I've heard people say it's going to be less than that. I've heard people say it's going to be more than that. So we're going to see. But yeah, I'm preparing. I'll prepare for pretty much anything. If it's 4,000, I'm still going to get it, honestly, because it means that much to me. So
My man.
But yeah, it's true, Keco. I would budget for it and prepare for it, and I would sell something if I needed to, because this is a statue that I've waited a really long. Like for example, Dean, I've talked to Carlos pretty extensively about this. Think what would happen in your life, right? If Prime 1 comes out next showcase and says Cloud and Sephiroth diorama, right? What would you do, right? What if they say, okay, we're going to make it limited and it's going to be $6,000, right? Like, do you love the characters that much that you would sell a bunch of shit or do whatever you had to get them together, right? I probably would, because I love Final Fantasy that much, Final Fantasy 7. So I probably would, and I'd probably sell what I needed to get them. So Joel and Ellie would be the same. Like, I don't think it's going to be that expensive. I think this is going to be probably 1,000 ES or maybe higher. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because Prime 1 has released a Final Fantasy statue. It was Terra from Final Fantasy 3 and or 6, depending on who you ask.
Right.
And that was like a fucking $12,000 statue. Granted, it's ridiculously huge because I think she's 3rd scale, and then it's got the Magitech armor, which, you know, I imagine it's, you know, going to be massive, kind of like that half scale T-Rex from who the hell did that?
Wasn't that Queen who did that?
I thought it was Prime.
Or was it Prime?
It might have been. Either way,
Okay.
I'm getting
I don't
it
know,
for
maybe.
sure.
Are you really?
No, bro.
I was like, God
it is-
damn.
it is way too big. And
Yeah.
obviously, you know,
That's what she said.
Rexy is cool, but damn, I'm not going to put that thing on my wall.
Yeah. So, yeah, $6,000. That'd be a really tough pill to swallow. But yeah, I would probably just start selling shit. Because
Yeah, I probably would too.
yeah, because you only like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I can't let you outdo me.
Exactly, bro.
don't
But
even
I'm
like the
assuming that's
original.
what they would do. I'm assuming they would do remake, yeah, but yeah, because it would look cooler, more lifelike. So,
How dare you?
guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments on this Prime 1 statue. We got one more topic for the evening, and this, I mean, we got a lot of stuff we could still talk about, but I do want to talk about this because we didn't get to talk about it last time. So Kiko's probably gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?" But Dean and I are gonna be excited. We got to talk about the game toys Final Fantasy VII remake for Dean, Tifa figure from Final Fantasy VII remake. Like I said, on the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, you can get the remastered version, Intergrade, and you can get the regular version on PS4. That said, Game Toys, they produce some consistently high quality figures. However, they take a very long time. Them and Limb Toys take a very long time to make their shit, but it comes out very high quality every time. So if you have Cloud, if you have Sephiroth, you know. If you have Zack, you know. Tifa, I wouldn't expect to see this for probably a couple years. I think you're probably going to wait 2 years for this. I would think that's pretty much Game Toys pace, but it looks great. So Keco, I don't know if you know much about Final Fantasy VII remake and about Game Toys. This figure is about, I think, $344 because it has a big bar diorama, and there's naked Tifa, which they for some reason showed. But I don't know if anyone's going to display the figure like that. They might, but I'm not sure we needed the bar, and we'll get to Dean on that one. But Keco, what do you think about this figure? Just your overall thoughts.
I have nothing to properly say because I don't know the franchise well enough.
Right.
The character means nothing to me, obviously, because of that. And because it's a stylized version of a character, that doesn't mean much to me. So I can speak only on ignorance, essentially. But because I see how excited it makes you and how excited it makes Dean, that makes me happy. And that's all that matters. So my opinion on this, other than showing the ass, which is, I'm like, why? But
Yeah.
for those collectors out there, I hope this and Supergirl will make its way out to you. So we'll figure it out.
Well, I'm interested to hear, Dean, because a lot of people were disappointed in the face sculpt. I wasn't, though. I wasn't one of them. Dean, what do you think? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I think I mean, it looks like the game model to me.
Yeah.
And I would consider myself a Final Fantasy VII snob. So
Are you an elitist when it comes to that?
He is.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the biggest. He's that Final Fantasy VII is like his Last of Us for me.
Yeah, it's literally my number one of all time, anything ever. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, and Tifa is one of the coolest characters in the whole game. She's so badass. Just a really kind person, but also don't fuck with her because she'll beat the shit out of you. Yeah, so this is a no-brainer. I pre-ordered this immediately. The bar is without a doubt, I welcome it. It's fucking cool. Tifa kind of goes hand in hand with her bar. So I think it's a great inclusion. I don't think they needed it. I think they just wanted to make more money than just because what did the original Cloud cost? Like 180? He wasn't that expensive.
It was like maybe 215 or something. Sephiroth was a little more pricey because the wing, I think. But
yeah, but Cloud was not very expensive at all.
No.
So I think they were like, hey, people are paying fucking $600 after market. Let's throw in some shit and jack up the price. Because you also get an additional head sculpt with a hair piece that she never wears.
Yeah, I didn't think she ever had that in the game.
She never wears her hair that way.
Yeah.
I don't know what even in the part of the game where you could have her wear 3 different dresses, that's never her hair. So I don't know what that is. but you get the whiskeys, you get the flower. The little cloud chocobo thing is pretty cute. I don't know what it is, but I've never seen it.
But look how cool that's going to look, Dean, in your display.
Oh, it's gonna look fantastic. I can't wait for this. Yeah, this is a second one pre-order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you, bro.
I think you
pre-ordered.
messaged me at like 4 a.m. You were like, it's up.
Yeah, I did. And Kit was like, here's your code. And I was like, let's send it to Dean first thing. Yeah. So, yeah, and I posted it too. But yeah, guys, the code is out there on my channel for those who want to pick up Tifa for Kit. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty cool figure and I'm excited about it. That said, I'm glad that Kiko's excited for us. So, guys,
Tifa is better than Taylor Swift.
Shiny. Right. Exactly. But guys, thank you so much for joining. We are going to wrap it there. And yeah, it's good to be back. I know we missed the show. And like I said, there will be a lot more content on my channel once I have these damn things built. In person, though, they are stunning. Module cases, so worth it. The customer service is fantastic, bar none. And it's just the weight. It's the weight in the build. The build is hard. The instructions aren't that great, to be honest. You got to watch videos and ask people. Brian helped me a lot. I was talking to him on the phone, but he was helping me build stuff. So yeah, super helpful, super great guy. Module case is great. You just got to be prepared for the wait. You got to wait a really long time. I had to wait about a year, and I've seen people wait longer than that. So yeah, you got to wait a while. So that said, guys, we're going to wrap it there. Let's go around the panel real quick. Mr. Keco Collects, bro. What's coming up on YouTube, on the gram? What do you got in store for people? Because there's a lot of fire content that you're dropping right now.
Yeah, I have a really fun reel that I have dropped tomorrow with a special sound. I gave you a little sneak peek, Will, of some things that I have going places. So that's part of the reel. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. That could be a lot of fun. But I love doing my toy photography. That's where I put all those Moon Knight pictures. Really enjoy doing all that stuff. It's fun. I love interacting with the people on there. But this is gonna blow your mind, Will. I have 2 videos ready for YouTube. Can you believe that? 2 videos.
Okay.
In addition to that show I talked about trying to actually get launched that I just can't ever get off the ground. So there's 2 actual content shows coming. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. Check me out on Instagram. Give me a like, give me a follow, do all that stuff. And if you are out there, haters, I love talking with you guys on the comments. You guys can sit there and trash me all you want. Discussion is good. I don't care. That's fine. As I think Dean has said it probably 10 times on this stream, respect. If we can be respectful, we can have a discourse, and that's all that matters. And so I would love to chat with you guys in the comments. So feel free to hit me up on that. All good stuff. So Will, it's good to be back, man.
Yeah, it is good to be back, bro. Thank you so much for joining. And guys, thank you for joining in the chat and engaging with us. That said, of course, we have Mr. Dean the Dream on Collecting Weekly. Bro, what's coming up on the channel? Because you guys are always dropping some fire content over there too. Always streaming. You guys are like the hardest workers, I feel like, of anyone.
Yeah, we try and put out content every day. Let's see. Tonight we have just another Friday night. We host they're already an existing podcast, but they talk pop culture and just stuff that they're up to. I don't really know what they're talking. They were talking about The Flash last week, so I didn't get to tune in. So I'll watch them tonight. Tomorrow, I don't think we're doing anything tomorrow. I think we might take the weekend off. But then Monday we got an unboxing. I'll be doing a Hot Toys Nebula. The first one that came out, obviously. Then Tuesday we got the main show, talk about 6-scale news, stuff that's happened during the week. Probably a lot of stuff we talked about today. Wednesday After Dark, where we just hang out and talk about whatever, usually our buttholes.
Sounds fair.
Yeah. And Thursday we'll have small talk. So if you're into like 1/12 scale figures, Mezco, figure art, stuff like that. So yeah, a whole week of content coming up for you guys.
Dude, Collecting Weekly is where it's at, guys. Collecting Weekly has all the good shit, as does Mr. Keco Collects. And of course, yeah, on this channel, I got some stuff planned for you guys. Like I said, a collection tour plan. I'm hoping to film that and upload it next weekend. Like I said, that's the plan. I got a Last of Us print recently that I absolutely love. Keco knows, and I don't know if I showed it to Dean. It's Last of Us 2, but I've been trying to get this print for forever. And I finally got it, and I'm getting it framed, and I want to get that in my collection. So pretty dope.
Where do you get your frames?
So there's a place near me called Keepsake Framing, and it's like a sort of like family business type deal. And dude, it's amazing. Framing is expensive though. If you get museum glass and get a good frame and a mat, yeah, framing alone probably cost me about $400 for this. So yeah, it's a lot. But it's worth it because if you want preservation and you want good quality and something that's going to look good and that know that it's done right, You're gonna have to pay for it. So it's worth it though. Guys, anyway, thank you so much for joining us this fine Friday evening. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend and a good 4th of July coming up on Tuesday. There'll be content again coming from this channel. So thank you guys so much for the support. Glad to be back. Happy to be back. Glad everyone's here. That said, bye guys. Peace out. Bye.